Okay, everybody, so welcome back. So we've got Cruiser over here against the fence, and we've got Dauntless here. Cruiser's got an issue, as Kelly has talked about, with him having herd-based issues, socialization issues. We've got Dauntless, who's got some socialization issues, so I think it's good for them to work together. Dauntless has a lot more experience in life than Cruiser. Cruiser having issues with confidence, has become a rearing horse, and the owner has asked us to kind of step in and help out. So we're going to just work with them together a little bit just on their own. So I want Dauntless, first off, is that if Dauntless is going to be with me and be in here and helping me to support Cruiser to the best that he can, I want to make sure that Dauntless is focused on me right now. So when we start to work with Cruiser, and Cruiser doesn't have any social skills, and it's not like he wants to go after other horses, what happens is that you put him out in a field, as Kelly mentioned, with another horse or a couple other horses, and then he becomes very attached to that horse, and when the owner comes to get their horse out of the field, then he'll want to go after the owner because he doesn't want his buddy to lead. So we got to work on those boundaries, and also I want to move them a little bit together so they understand the dynamics. Now, since Dauntless has done a lot of offline work, he's going to help me in this process. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come over here, and you can see that I want Dauntless to kind of be here with me. And I want to be able to come up to Cruiser and just be able to touch him without him having that reaction. So as you could kind of see in the previous videos, is that if you touch him, then all of a sudden he thinks he needs just to take off and leave. Now, and you can also see that he's still facing that fence, which means that if the fence wasn't here, he'd be gone. So I like the fact that Dauntless is just staying in tune with me. I don't want Dauntless then to get upset with him or anything, so it's this dynamic that we're working together to build confidence. So I might walk up to him and just pet him, see how he does. Now remember, anytime we're working with a horse, we want to try to apply less than we think it's going to take to get the job done. And if we don't get a result, then we amp it up and then we bring it back until we get the result we're looking for, or the start of the result we're looking for, and then we bring it back down very quickly, so we don't keep trying very hard. Now when you have a super sensitive horse like this, we got to keep our energy down. So if you're a very energetic person and you're working with a very sensitive horse, you need to be very mindful of that, because if I come in, for example, say that I've got a lot of energy, and I come in and go, "Hey Cruiser, how's it going?" Like you see right there, just by me coming in, "Oh my God, hey Cruiser." Now, if you've ever had anybody that you've walked into a room and you met, and they're like, "Hey Dauntless, how's it going? I'm so-and-so." You're like, "Oh my God," especially if you're highly sensitive. So you can look at Cruiser's like, "Holy crap, I can't even be in the same room with that guy because he's got way too much energy." So when we're working with horses, remember, a huge part of it is your own energy. Now, if I'm working with a very dull horse, I might have to bring my energy up and get that excitement and that liveliness out of that horse. But if I have a very high sensitive horse like him, now Dauntless was that way too, and now I can do jumping jacks and I can do all kinds of stuff in front of Dauntless, and he doesn't care. So this is kind of the before, and this is the after of what we're going for. So I'm going to walk up to Cruiser now, very relaxed, because the goal is to build his confidence, not make him scared to death and want to keep running away from us. So I'm going to just, now I like the fact that every time I go this way, he'll like he's got an ear on me, and he'll look at me. So, as Kelly was talking about, so now we're getting a lick and chew, and he's looking at me. Anytime your horse licks and chews, and they start to put their ears on you, they're processing. They're coming out of a panic state, and coming into more of a learning state. So I'm going to walk up to him. Now, I'm going to walk up to him with very little energy. And I'm not going to talk to you when I'm walking up to him, because that's enough energy for him to want to leave right now. You can see how he's looking the other way. So I just want to get that ear back on me. So you notice I just gave him a little kiss, and I just wanted that ear back on. So now I'm going to walk back up to him. So even by me just kissing and getting in, I kissed 3 times to get his ear on me, and he's like, "Oh, it's time to move on out." So these are the things that when we're working with horses, and Rome was not built in a day, and when you're working with a troubled or misunderstood horse that's highly sensitive, you have to take the time. And the other thing you want to look at with your horse is how long did it take him to get this way? This, my friend, is a very slow learner. So he learned things and really grasped them over a long period of time. We're figuring out with Cruiser that he picked this up really quick, because horses that are very smart and pick up things quick, pick up good habits quick and bad habits quick. So if it takes them longer to pick up something, it takes longer to fix that and change that habit. So all I'm looking for is I'm just going to ask him with the flag. Now you saw how light I could be with that flag. So all I'm looking for is, can I get him to just face me or give me two eyes? Right? That's what I'm looking for, is 2 eyes. So now I might walk up to him. Might just give him a pet. You can see how worried he is when I do that. But I like how that lower lip is getting softer. That's important for me to look at. I'm looking at a horse that's not super tight in the muzzle right now. So now I might just bring, and Kelly talked about this, is that we have, so now I'm going to let them just kind of iron this out for a second. And you can see this is a great example. Having another horse that can help you is a good thing. But you can see that Cruiser's not even aware, wasn't even aware that Dauntless was like, hey, I don't want you right behind me. Cruiser's like, hey, what's going on, man? Can I be right behind you? And Dauntless is like, well, I might kick you. I don't know. You don't understand herd dynamics, and so we're going to work through this. You can tell follower, leader, right? So I'm going to ask Dauntless now just to come over here. So I'm not going to let Dauntless do anything to Cruiser. I'm going to be the one that says, hey, I want you just to be right here with me and face me. So see how I came in with my energy, and this is so important if you're working with a horse like this that has these multitude of issues, is you want to be able to step in as that, as Kelly would say, that top dog, and kind of come in that position and say, okay, I'm going to be in between you guys. Nothing needs to bad needs to happen when I'm in here. So I'll come back to Cruiser. Now I might ask Cruiser if he can just take a step towards me. Good. Okay, now you saw in that video, all I did was ask him to move off and pull away from the wall off that right shoulder, and then I immediately, as soon as he started to move, took all my energy off, and he just kept walking. He just kept turning. So he's so sensitive, he's an overachiever, right? So now I like this. He came in and he faced me. What did I do to get that? I just drew my energy back. He's a horse that you're never gonna have to worry about wanting to be close to you, as long as he understands the boundaries, right? And boundaries is a big thing with horses, is we want them to understand, just like Dauntless would tell him, hey, don't get too close to my butt. So I just want to be able to do the same thing and get him good. So this is way different than yesterday, and it took us quite some time in our other videos to get him to the point where all I could do is just ask him to pull off. So I'm 12 feet away from him, and you can see my energy from 12 feet away. So could you imagine how sensitive he'd be if I'm on him? You can see as I move towards the hind, so I'm asking the hind end to move with very little pressure. So I'll come in very little pressure. Nope, I don't want you to spin that way. I want you to face me. So I'm gonna not let him continue to turn around. So I want him to understand that I'm just asking for him to face me. Good deal. Okay, but then he spun all the way around. Dauntless, stay there. So I don't want Dauntless to move, so I'm going to ask Dauntless to come back in. Thank you. Good. So all I'm looking for him is to do that. The biggest thing we have to do is help him build confidence, and in that confidence is going to come trust. So in order to have trust, confidence, it's like a tripod of a camera. You have to have patience, you have to have respect, and you have to have trust. And it's never fear-based respect. If you hammer onto a horse, especially a sensitive horse, they're going to do bad things out of fear, right? So we don't want that. We want to put parameters on his life. So he's now following after Mr. Yanni over here, and he's following after him, saying, okay, he's not doing anything, I don't have to worry. If I had another horse in here that was super, super sensitive and like him, it'd be like 2 kids flying around here that had too much sugar. So this makes me very happy, because it took us a long time to get to this point yesterday. So I'm just gonna ask him, all I wanna do is build his confidence with him where I can ask him to move off at a walk and he doesn't go into a trot. He understands that I'm only asking. I'm looking for that left ear to be on me, and I'm just going to ask him, no. I'm just going to ask him that the better deal is to come towards me. So my energy right now is on his left shoulder, the shoulder that is against the wall. Horses are so in tune with energy that if I project my energy towards that wall and want to bounce it back over this way, he'll pull and come across that way. This is so important. And remember, everything that we do with horses is about timing and feel. Doesn't matter what discipline you're in or what you're doing, it's all timing and feel. You can't teach feel, but you can learn feel. Anybody watching, if you've ever driven a stick shift car, someone can tell you how to let the clutch out, but until you actually let the clutch out, you're not going to know what it feels like. So I'm not asking for him to pull completely over there. So now I'm fine-tuning my relationship with him in the sense of him being connected with me. I want him to know that I'm a really good deal, that his owner's a really good deal, that Kelly's a really good deal, that horse is another good deal, but we have mutual respect for each other. You guys could almost be like brothers. So now I'm going to ask him just to move off again, and I'm just going to keep working on this. It seems like this is such an important foundation, but I want him to know that as soon as I pull my energy back, and I want him to face me, so I'm bouncing my energy off that wall onto that left shoulder, and my goal is just to get him to want to stop and face me. If you watch the previous videos that we have of him, he was really difficult to go to one side. So I'll put a little bit more pressure on him if he's going to face that wall. So I'll put a little bit more pressure on him. Because remember, we want to put a little pressure on, but not too much, because we want them to still be learning and not go into a flight status. So you can see, once again, I'm going to pull my energy back, ask him to face me. So we're going to continue to work on this part of it, but it's a step-by-step process. So if I can't get my horse to want to just stop and face me, and you can see how light he is to my energy, so I'll pull way back. So I'm like, no, I don't want you to keep going. You probably don't want to go over there. Good. So now he stopped. He wasn't facing me fully, but he at least stopped and he looked at me. So we're going to stop right here, and then in the next exercise we're going to show you is moving them both. So I hope you guys enjoy this. If you do, hit subscribe and we can watch more videos together. But yeah, we're going to show you both horses working together next. Thanks so much. Have a good day.